Daniel, as the screen says. I had me and a couple of people had the privilege of going to Thailand 2 weeks ago, and I'll just share some of my experiences. I was born into a Christian family, and I've been involved in the church all my life, but I didn't really know Jesus Christ, and as a result, my life was broken, and I struggled with depression and struggled to maintain relationships with my family and the people around me. In the last 2 years, though, I've been blessed to be able to know Jesus Christ, and have been blessed to be a part of a community that has helped me grow, not only as a Christian, but as a person as well. So when the opportunity for a mission trip came up, God called on me to go and love those who, like me, were broken, confused, and lost without him. I prayed to God in preparation for this trip, that he would open up my heart and allow me the heart and capacity to fully love and serve the people of Thailand. In that prayer, God showed me just how deep and wide his love for me is, and has given me so much more than I had prayed for. Since I've been back, one common question I've been getting a lot has been, how was Thailand? And the only answer I've been able to muster up is, it was fun, which I see now isn't maybe the best answer to give when asked about a mission trip. And don't get me wrong, the entire trip was amazing, and we had so much fun. The fellowship that we had within our Thailand team, and the missionaries, and the conversations that we shared, and just the experiences, just being able to experience the work of God in motion in Thailand was incredible. But we experienced so much and felt so many different things to even begin to try and find an entry point into what that was like seems a bit impossible. Although it may not be indicative of my entire experience, I'll try to key in on a couple experiences that truly stood out to me to convey the ways that God moved in my life in Thailand. We spent a lot of time in Thailand driving and walking, and Pete often urged the team to be praying for the people. And so I did. I looked around and I observed the streets, waiting for a scene or a moment to move me enough to pray for them. And God kind of caught me, and he said, he reminded me that as I was praying, that his grace is not selective. And I was dismayed and ashamed that I was looking for hurt and struggles to pray for, as if there was a standard for what deserved prayer or grace. In that moment, God showed me that just because I couldn't see or understand their struggles, it didn't mean that they weren't in need. And the reality was that I needed to pray for everything and everyone, for we are all broken regardless. It was a perception change that I believed I desperately needed if I was to continue on with the mission trip. Some questions that swirled through my mind were, there were so many people in Thailand, and how could I pray for all these people? How many people back home did I overlook that needed prayer? And God called me here to Thailand for a reason, and what is it that I can do for these people? It was an overwhelming moment as these thoughts came about, but God spoke to my heart, and he said, pray, and I will speak into your heart. In all my preparations for missions, I had prayed that my strength would not be my own, but again, I had forgotten to lean on God for my struggles. God used the situation to show me again that I needed to trust him. God had spoken into my life so many times before, but it was the first time in my relationship with God that he urged me to be patient and to listen for his word. On a separate day, we had the opportunity to visit one of the famous and well-known temples, the Golden Mountain Temple in Bangkok. We witnessed people coming from all around praying to these gods, while tourists, ourselves included, were taking pictures and just clamoring about. There were stations where you can purchase flowers and offerings and incense to offer up on the altars. People were rolling wood blocks like yunori and pulling fortunes out of containers where your fortune is decided by chance. And it pained my heart to think about the struggles that they were experiencing, and they put so much of their faith into these toys. It reminded me of when I was lost as a college student and I would seek happiness in sinful and worldly things. It reminded me of when I visited my grandmother in the Korean countryside shortly before she passed away. She had shown my dad, who is a pastor, a rock that she bought from a con man that was said to have contained magical healing properties. And so, as my heart broke for these people, God reminded me of something that Pete had preached earlier that week, that missions work isn't only done overseas. Whether it be the Thai people who pray to false gods of chance and happenstance, or the people here back home who put their faith and dependence in worldly things, he reminded me to take note and to pray. He showed me that it's an ongoing work to love and pray for those near and around me, wherever I am. It changed how I viewed what I was doing in Thailand and how I anticipated my life once I returned home to Houston. I prayed to God that he would speak into my life and show me how I can best love on those around me. There were so many positive and blessed experiences throughout the trip. God allowed our team to witness a church being established in Thailand, a family that renounced all of the Buddhist idols out of their home, and ultimately allowed us to have fellowship and form relationships with the people in Thailand, believers and non-believers alike. We were able to witness God moving little by little in the nation, in that nation. However, with each thing that we experienced, it felt as if God was moving in our lives exponentially more. So through all these experiences, God showed so much grace in my life. For all the experiences that tore my heart, God provided such close and wonderful people on our team: Eric, Pete, Ashley, Christina, and Sarah, to whom I can address my concerns and be able to discuss openly with what we felt God was doing not only in our lives but the nation of Thailand. God provided me with a community that I could love on and count on to be loved by. As someone who feels plagued by a chronic sense of dread, brought on by my self-doubt and anxiety, God pushed through all those things during the trip and showed me just how much love I had in my life. God allowed me to connect to the pastor that leads the mission team in Thailand, Pastor Woody, who understood the struggles of being a PK and encouraged me and prayed for me to continue mending my relationship with my parents. As someone who feels, God showed me time and time again that no matter how deep my sin was, that his love for me was so much deeper. God called on me to trust him and his workings more than I'd been able to or thought I was capable of in the past. God called on me to love myself as he and the community he has put me in loves me. God has filled my life and my heart with so much love and now calls on me to invite more people into my life so that I may fully love on them and share that love with them as he loves me. Before I came to know Jesus Christ, I had nothing but broken relationships and a broken self. Only in the last 2 years have I been so blessed by God with a second chance with my family, a community that I can grow with, and a joy and peace that I haven't known before. Before this mission trip, I had thought that answering God's call would mean having to abandon all these things, but I was reminded that it is only by his grace that these things are in my life to begin with. So now I am praying and waiting for him to show me what he is calling me to do next. But I will not be waiting idly by, because being idle is bad. As the first commandment says, you shall have no other idols before me. In the meantime, I'll be doing all I can for his glory and his kingdom in Houston until he calls me, whenever that may be. I share this with you all in the hopes that you will keep me accountable and pray for me. Pray that I will not easily forget his love and the lessons I've learned in Thailand. Pray that I will be able to discern and hear God's voice. Pray that I will have the patience to wait for his word, and pray that once it comes, he will provide me with the strength to follow his calling faithfully. And also just pray with me for the nation of Thailand as well as the people in all your daily lives. Thank you.